Hi everyone, it's Pete here again from the Pain Toolkit. Okay, so we're at the beginning of the Pain Toolkit and you're wondering why, well, how the hell, well, what is neuropathic pain? So the best part, I mean, I don't, as you know, I don't live with neuropathic pain myself, but Keith, who's the co-author of this Pain Toolkit. Good afternoon to you, Keith. I always forget to say hello to you.
Hey, Pete.
Thank you for tuning in. It'll be rather than me tell you what I think neuropathic pain is. It's about getting it from, as they say, from the horse's mouth. So, Keith, I'm going to hand over to you. Can you tell the viewers what it's like to live with neuropathic pain, and perhaps one or two things that you started to do to start to manage it better, so you have a, you know, it's like getting yourself back in the driving seat as such. So I'm going to hand over to you, Keith. So, what it's like to live with neuropathic pain.
Thanks, Pete. I appreciate the opportunity to share my experience, and again, these are my experiences, and so I'll talk a little bit about how it affects me. And I think with neuropathic pain, what I'll touch on is some commonalities, and in discussions I've had with others I know that live with neuropathic pain, we have a lot of similar symptoms. So, but I offer that because everybody's pain, whether it's neuropathic or musculoskeletal, even though there's some commonalities, everybody's pain is individualistic. But neuropathic pain is a little different, and I say different in that we know scientifically, and medicine tells us that it involves the nervous system, something that is, and that's why some of the symptoms that people experience, like myself, and that's where it comes from. And one of the biggest things for me was learning a number of years ago that the symptoms that I was experiencing, which I thought was just me being very weird or hypersensitive or overreacting or any of these things, were actually symptoms of neuropathic pain. And it's things like this hypersensitivity to things that normally wouldn't cause a pain reaction. And for me, it was anything from like a light touch on my skin. My neuropathic pain, my pain is on my left abdominal wall from my injuries, and I would find the feel of my shirt on my skin or just a light touch it would literally light me up. It would just cause this ridiculous pain, and it would be the lightest touch. And I'm like, whoa, there's got to be something wrong with me. That's not possible. So to understand that that is part of what neuropathic pain is it's one of the things, is this hypersensitivity to a sensation that normally wouldn't cause pain. It's also feelings of pain that people often describe, and myself, will be like burning or electrical or searing or tearing, are very common symptoms of neuropathic pain. And for me, those can come and go. I can be having a regular day and living with my pain, living well and managing it the way that I do. And even though I'm doing all the right things that I should, and making sure I'm getting good movement and not doing the things that I know that can exacerbate my pain, because in addition to my pain, I still have some underlying injuries that if I do the wrong movement will cause pain. So I'm doing all the right things. And despite that, just out of the blue comes just this electrical shock or this tearing, burning pain. And again, for me and my understanding and talking to others, that's not uncommon with people who have neuropathic pain. So that can be a bit disconcerting, because you think, or you're doing everything that you should, and despite that, just all of a sudden it just shows up. And it can be a 5-minute neuropathic pain flare. It can last for hours. So the biggest thing for me was to learn to understand that that's what living with neuropathic pain is, and to understand that'll happen. And when it does happen, not to become upset or get worried that something terrible is going wrong in my body. It's just it's happening, and there are things that I can do to control that. One of the most important things is just not getting upset or allowing the stress of that to feed back into the pain. So relaxation, taking deep breaths, just slowing everything down. So if you're in the middle of something, just stop, take a step back, take those deep breaths, get yourself relaxed, calm that nervous system down. Probably one of the most effective tools, if not the most effective, I've found. Resetting that clock. And sometimes it means if you're if you're doing things, or, because movement and exercise are important, maybe I'm pushing it too far. So it's important to take a step back. Okay, I've gone too far. So I need to just dial it back a bit and not overdo it. So a lot of the management of neuropathic pain is very similar to all other types of pain. I think for me, the biggest things is just knowing that even though you can be doing all the right things, you will get just these random, just sort of bursts of pain. You can be sitting there in your chair, it'll happen. But it's important not to give in to that and become all, like, into that stress and that fear and that anxiety, because that will add to it. So deep breaths, relaxation, take that step back, reset yourself, is really, really important. But just know that those odd sensations and those feelings, which can be really disconcerting. I mean, for me, one of the most uncomfortable things is the way the water runs down my body when I have a shower. So to me, a shower isn't really a very comforting thing, which it is for a lot of people. It can be somewhat uncomfortable some days. That's normal. You're not crazy. And you just, you need to find ways to best deal with that. But it can be a little disconcerting, that's for sure. But you're okay. We're all doing okay.
Well, thanks, Keith. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, neuropathic pain is just a lot different to musculoskeletal pain that I have, etc. But some really handy tips there, and I get a lot of emails from people with neuropathic pain, struggling, like most people do with pain. But it's always been difficult for me to know what to say, etc. But I'm learning like everybody else, I guess. Listen, we come to the end of this video, but and for those watching this, you're actually at the beginning of the pain toolkit for neuropathic pain, and throughout the actual toolkit itself, you'll see links to other videos that we've done. So it's a real bit of like a setting stone, really, a stepping stone on about managing your pain, etc. So we'll see, myself and Keith will see you again on another video throughout the toolkit. So we'll see you again soon. So Keith, I'll see you. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks everybody for watching. Have a nice day. Ciao.
See you.